Hello there, great learners! Welcome to our learning episode in our lesson, Computer System Servicing. Before we are going to assemble a computer, we are going to discuss first the computer systems and its components under the first core competency, that is, installing and configuring computer system. Welcome, dear learners! Our content standard is demonstrate an understanding of concepts and principles in installing, configuring computer system. Our performance standard is you are able to install and configure computer system based on established procedures and system requirements. Our learning objective for these video lessons are the following. Number 1, OHS policies and procedures are followed in accordance with system requirements. Second, 4 types of computers, and the last one is the 3 fundamental elements of computers. In the school, as a learner, behave when you are working in a computer laboratory, as well as implementing a safe way of accomplishing every task. Safety practices should be learned early and always adhere to when working with any electrical device, including personal computers and peripherals. This is for the protection of not only for yourselves, but also people around you. Also, for the devices themselves. The basis for this process begins with your occupational health and safety policies. Computer equipment can be dangerous, and you or others can be injured or even killed if you don't follow proper safety guidelines when working along PCs. The following are some precautionary measures to take before working with any computer equipment. Number 1. Wear shoes with non-conductive rubber soles to help reduce the chance of being shocked. Number 2. Unplug all electronic equipments from the power source. Number 3. Do not remove expansion cards or other components inside the computer when it is turned on. Next, remove all jewelry when working inside any computer-related equipment. Number 5. Be sure not to mix electronic components and water. Number 6. Do not over-tighten the screws. Number 7. Always handle computer components by the edges. And last but not the least, number 8, wear an anti-static device to prevent electrostatic discharge. Now, let's talk about the 4 types of computers. Before discussing the types of computers, I would like to ask first this question. My dear learners, what is a computer? Aha, you are correct. A computer is an electronic device that helps people perform different tasks. It accepts information in the form of digitalized data and manipulates it for some result based on a program or sequence of instructions on how the data is to be processed. The 4 types of computers are the following. First is the supercomputer. It is the most powerful computers in terms of performance and data processing are the supercomputers. These are specialized and task-specific computers used by the large organizations. The uses of supercomputers are the following. Space exploration, earthquake studies, weather forecasting, and nuclear weapons testing. The second type of computers is the mainframe computers. Mainframes used to run business operations. The mainframe computers can be accommodated in large air-conditioned rooms because of its size. Next is a mini computer. A mini computers are also called as mid-range computers. These are small machines and can be accommodated in a disk with not as processing and data storage capabilities as supercomputers in mainframes. The fourth type of computers is the microcomputer. Desktop computers, laptops, personal digital assistant or PDA, tablets, and smartphones are all types of microcomputers. The microcomputers are widely used and fastest growing computers. These computers are the cheapest among the other three types of computers. Now, my dear learners, let's take a look at examples of microcomputers. First is a laptops. A laptop or a laptop computer is a small portable personal computer with a clamshell form factor, typically having a thin LCD or LED computer screen mounted on the inside of the upper lid of the clamshell and an alphanumeric keyboard on the inside of the lower lid. Next is a desktop. A desktop computer is a personal computer designed for regular use at a single location on or near a desk or a table due to its size and power requirements. The most common configuration has a case that houses the power supply, a motherboard. A motherboard is a printed circuit board with a microprocessor as the central processing unit, memory, bus, and other electronic components. This storage, usually one or more hard disk drives, solid-state drives, optical disk drives, and in early models of floppy disk drive, a keyboard and a mouse for input, and a computer monitors, speakers, and often a printer for output. Next is a netbook. A netbook is a marketing term used in the past for small, low-performance, legacy-free, and inexpensive laptop. While the name has fallen out of use, machines matching their descriptions remain an important part of the market for laptops running Microsoft Windows. Similarly, most lower-end Chromebooks run on a hardware which would have been described as a netbook when the term was current, and inexpensive tablets running either Windows or Android when used with an external keyboard could be regarded as a netbooks. Next is a hybrid laptops. A hybrid laptops is a two-in-one devices that can function as a laptops or tablets, are a growing segment of the PC market. Hybrid laptops come in various guises, but all have touchscreens and can function both in a traditional clamshell mode and by folding the keyboard section out of the way or removing it altogether in a tablet mode. The former are usually called convertible laptops, while the latter are known as detachables. Another examples of microcomputers is smartphones. A smartphone is a mobile device that combines cellular and mobile computing functions into one unit. They are disguised from feature phones by their stronger hardware capabilities and expensive mobile operating systems, which facilitate wider software, including internet browsing and multimedia functionality, including music, video, cameras, and gaming, alongside core phone functions such as voice calls and text messaging. Another is a tablet. A tablet computer, commonly shortened to tablet, is a mobile device typically with a mobile operating systems and touchscreens, display processing circuitry, and a rechargeable battery in a single, thin, and flat package. Tablets, being computers, do what other personal computers do, but lack some input-output abilities that others have. Another examples of microcomputers is the trend for today, the wearable computers. Wearable technology, wearables, fashion technology, smartwear, tech togs, skin electronics, or fashion electronics are smart electronic devices, electronic with microcontrollers that are worn close to and or to the surface of the skin, where they detect, analyze, and transmit information concerning examples, body signals such as vital signs and or ambient data, and which allow in some cases immediate biofeedback to the wearer. Wearable devices such as activity trackers are an example of Internet of Things, since things such as electronic softwares, sensors, and connectivity are effectors that enable objects to exchange data, including data quality, through the Internet with manufacturer operator and or other connected devices without requiring human intervention. Now, let's discuss the three fundamental elements of the computers. The three elements of computer systems are the following: the system unit, the input devices, and output devices. Now, let's take a look at the system unit. The system unit acts like the center or core, processing the data and information it receives from input devices. The basic parts of the system units are the following: the motherboard, the processors, the random access memory modules, the optical drive, the hard drive, heatsink, floppy disk drives for older system unit, system fan, and the power supply. Next element is the input devices. Input devices is any hardware device that sends data to a computer, allowing you to interact with and control the computer, such as the following: the keyboard, the mouse, disk drives, CD, scanner, digital cameras, webcams, joysticks, touchscreens, tablets, or microphones. The third element is an output devices. Output devices is any peripheral device that receives data from a computer, usually for display, projection, or physical reproduction. These are the devices like printers. It receives the system unit's process information. Now, my dear learners, let's take a look at the parts of the system unit. First is the system case. System case or computer case, also known as computer chassis, tower, system unit, cabinet, base unit, or simply case, and sometimes incorrectly referred to as the CPU or hard drive, is the enclosure that contains most of the components of computers. The two types of system casing are the following. The desktop is a standard slimline designed to sit horizontally. And the second type is the tower. Tower, sometimes we call it full, mid, or mini, designed to sit vertically. Next is a motherboard. A motherboard is a printed circuit board containing the principal components of a computer or other device, with connectors into which other circuit boards can be slotted. It allows all the parts of your computer to receive power and communicate with one another. It is usually screwed to the case along its large surface, which could be the bottom or the side of the case, depending on the form factor and orientation. Now let's take a look at the motherboard form factor. The form factor describes the shape and the layout of the motherboard. It affects where individual components go and the shape of the computer's case. Attached directly to the motherboard are the CPU, the RAM, expansion cards, networking, video and audio components. An example of motherboard form factor is an ATX form factor. ATX, or Advanced Technology Extended, is a motherboard form factor specification developed by Intel in 1995. This specification defines the key mechanical dimensions, mounting point, the input-output panel, power and connector interfaces between a computer case, a motherboard, and a power. The Intel Z77 motherboard is an example of ATX form factor. My dear learners, this is the parts of the motherboard Intel Z77. The Intel Z77 North View. The Intel Z77 motherboard South View. Intel Z77 motherboard West View. And the Intel Z77 motherboard, the East View. Next is the Central Processing Unit. A CPU is the electronically circuitry within a computer that carries out the instructions of a computer program by performing the basic arithmetic, logical control, and input-output operations specified by the instructions. Next part is the Random Access Memory, or the RAM. RAM is the physical hardware inside a computer that temporarily stores data, serving as the computer's working memory. Additional RAM allows a computer to work with more information at the same time, which usually has considerable effect on total system performance. The higher your RAM, the more speed you get. Number 5 is the power supply. A power supply is an electronic device that supplies electric energy to an electrical load. The primary function of a power supply is to convert one form of electrical energy to another, and as a result, power supplies are sometimes referred to as electric power converters. Next part of the system unit is the hard disk drive. The hard disk drive is the main and usually largest data storage hardware device in a computer. The operating system, software titles, and most other files are stored in the hard disk drive. The hard drive is sometimes referred to as the C drive due to the fact that Microsoft Windows, by default, designates the C drive letter to the primary partition on a primary hard drive in a computer. The types of disk drives are the following: the old one and the new hard drives. SSD stands for the word solid state drive, is a new hard drive. A solid state drive is a solid state storage device that uses integrated circuits assemblies to store data persistently, typically using flash memory and functioning as secondary storage in hierarchy of computer storage. SATA stands for the word Serial Advanced Technology Attachment, is a new hard drive. Serial ATA is a computer bus interface that connects host bus adapters to mass storage devices such as hard disk drives, optical drives, and solid-state drives. Serial ATA succeeded the earlier parallel ATA or PATA standard to become the predominant interface for the storage device storage in the hierarchy of computer storage. The PATA or the IDE. PATA stands for the word Parallel ATA or the IDE, Integrated Drive Electronics, is an old hard drive. Originally, AT attachment, also known as ATA or IDE, is a standard interface for IBM computers. It was first developed by Western Digital and Compaq in 1986 for compatible hard drives and CD or DVD drives. The connection is used for storage devices such as hard disk drives, floppy disk drives, and optical disk drives in computers. The CD or DVD-ROM drive or optical drive is a pre-pressed optical compact disc which contains data. The name is an acronym which stands for the Compact Disc Read-Only Memory. Computers can read CD-ROMs but cannot write to the CD-ROMs, which are not writable or erasable. CD stands for the word compact disc, DVD, digital versatile disc. Next is the expansion cards. In computing, an expansion card, also known as expansion board, adapter card, or accessory card, is a printed circuit board that can be inserted into an electronical connector or expansion slot on a computer motherboard, backplane, or riser card to add functionality to a computer system via expansion bus. Now, my dear learners, let's take a look at examples of expansion cards. First is the video graphic card. A video graphic card is a dedicated video card or video adapter. It is an expansion card installed inside your system unit to translate binary data received from the CPU or GPU into the images you view on your monitor. It is an alternative to the integrated graphic chips. Another example of expansion cards is a sound card. In your left screen, an older sound card expansion card. In our right screen, sound card module as an integrated circuit on the C77 motherboard. Indicator is showing the Realtek audio chip. In the bottom right, you see the front panel audio connector, which would be plugged into the microphone jack and headphone jack on the front of the case. Next type of expansion cards is a network card. An Ethernet network requires that you install or attach network adapters to each computer or peripheral you want to connect to the network. Most computers come with Ethernet adapters pre-installed as network interface cards. That's it, my dear learners. This time, let us check your understanding in this video lesson. A self-check is created for you. Please write your answers in your activity sheets. Number 1. What is a computer? Number 1. What is a computer? Next, number 2. What are the 4 types of computers? Number 2. What are the 4 types of computers? Number 3. What are the 3 types or 3 fundamental elements of the computer system? Number 3. What are the 3 fundamental elements of the computer system? Number 4, in your paper, give at least 5 examples of input devices. Number 4, give at least 5 examples of input devices. Number 5, give at least 5 examples of output devices. Number 5, give at least 5 examples of output devices. Number 6, enumerate the 8 basic parts of the system unit. Number 6, enumerate 8 basic parts of the system unit. That's all for today, my dear learners. Be sure to watch the continuation of these learning episode videos and be sure to answer other learning activities in your learning modules. I am your teacher in Computer System Servicing, Albert Arellano Agluba, saying, no matter what, never give up. Never give up, no matter what. Thank you for watching.